Hello everyone and welcome back to the F2 show by Inside F2. 2 rounds to go in Formula 2 in 2025, but we've already had some driver announcements for 2026. One of those drivers is Emmo Fittipaldi, who will be stepping up to Formula 2 with AOX next year, and he's joining us on the podcast today. Emmo, welcome to the podcast and welcome to Formula 2.
Hello everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me today for the podcast, and really excited to be here today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you and to get to know you because obviously first, I think this is your first Formula 2 podcast, am I right by saying?
It is, yes, it is.
Good stuff. Love that. Where are you in the world at the moment?
I'm actually right now home in Italy. Okay. So, yeah, that's where I'm based. That's where I live most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. And Emmo Fittipaldi, Formula 2 driver, how does that sound? Does that have a ring to it?
Yeah, it's a step closer to my dream, to be in Formula 1. So it's always great to be announced as a Formula 2 driver.
Definitely. We'll get into that in a bit. And before we get started, we've just hit 350,000 subscribers on the podcast. We're really grateful for everyone's support. If you aren't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. The bigger the show gets, the more fun things we can do with drivers. We can get out to race weekends and we can bring you insight into the world of Formula 2. So please do, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. And please help us on our journey to helping you guys. Emmo, we've had lots of questions from the fans. I'm going to ask them as we go through today.
Sure.
But the first one is from Brittany, and she asked, have you got a favourite pre-race song that you listen to before you jump?
I kind of do. It really depends of what I'm in the mood for, right? I really like some classic songs. I don't really like newer stuff.
Calms you down, I think.
Yeah, I like more older rock, and that's something I really enjoy to listen before the race.
Yes,
a little different from my generation, but yeah.
I was going to say, because a lot of drivers, when we speak to them, they like upbeat music, something that's going to get them in the zone. Whereas you're a bit more calm music, yeah.
Well, not really. Yeah, calm music. Yeah, I would say, but more or less, yeah, classical rock for me is the best.
Okay, love that. Matt asks, what's your favorite form of social media?
Probably say Instagram.
Instagram, yeah, nice. Do you get stuck on scrolling on reels for hours as well? Or?
Not really, but I do enjoy going to Instagram and seeing what people are up to and seeing what's happening around the world.
Yeah, love that. Sean asks, what's your biggest fear? Have you got any fears?
My biggest fears. I don't really have any fears.
Don't really have any fears?
No.
I think, I can't remember who it was. We spoke to a driver a short while ago and spiders was their fear. I don't like needles, personally. Needles are the thing for me that I don't like. Like vaccinations, not a fan of them. So,
no, for me, it's... No, I don't have any.
I don't have any. Fearless. Love that. Good trait for a driver. Jamie asks, who's your closest friend in the world of motor racing? Can you be friends with your rivals? I think that's...
You can, but you spend so much time with them already that when I'm off the track, I rather have friends that are outside of racing.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, that's enough of the fun stuff. Let's talk about the serious stuff, motor racing. I want to help the fans get to know Emmo Fittipaldi as you step into a car for the first time next year. So what's your earliest memory of motorsport, both watching it for the first time and driving for the first time?
That was actually when I was around, I think, 8 years old in Brazil. I asked my dad, oh, can I try this go-kart stuff? And he was like, yeah, sure, let's go. So then that was the first time I ever stepped into the motor racing world. And from then on, yeah, I loved it.
Obsessed, yeah. You also come from a family of great racing drivers. Your dad was a 2-time world champion.
Yes.
With it, you've got drivers, family members, uncles, nephews, cousins, all racing. I guess, yeah, it was the natural step for you to start driving, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's in the DNA,
It is, absolutely. All right, what's your favorite memory from karting? Have you got a favorite memory, a standout memory?
From karting was probably the first few times I ever started driving.
Okay.
And enjoying it for the first time in my life, you know?
Okay, love that.
Yeah.
And did you
Yeah.
start winning straight away?
Yeah, I mean, in Brazil, we I started racing the National League in Brazil, and that that first year I was the champion already. So it was for me, it was something. I mean, that was small, you know. So something you don't really take it seriously, and then you start taking it seriously when you're a little older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Definitely.
yeah.
Love that. Um, Obviously we know your dad was a former Formula One world champion, but who was your idol growing up? Was there a driver that you were looking at that was you kind of idolized, or someone that was driving at the time when you were growing up that you quite liked?
I remember when I really liked when Sebastian Vettel was in Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the time when I started racing. So that was the best driver at that time.
Okay.
You know, so I always followed him when he was at Red Bull and when he went to Ferrari. And yeah,
Love that. And he didn't do too bad, actually, did he? So Formula
no,
One champion.
no.
So love that. Nice. And with your family, it is obviously you look up to your dad. And I mean Enzo, we had Enzo on the podcast a few times when he was in Formula Two. Were you looking up to them as people who were going through the ladder? Obviously with Enzo going through the ladder a bit quicker than you.
Well, I do remember when Enzo was going up, you know, from go-karts to Formula 4.
Yeah.
I remember that was a big step in the family and everybody was cheering for him and it was really nice. And yeah, they're always a bit older than me, you know, so they're always a few steps ahead. But it's really, really nice to have a family that is involved with so much of racing and it's just great.
Definitely. You've got a few people to turn to if you want advice, haven't you? So
Yeah, yeah.
love that. All right. So you've done Italian F4, you've done Freca, you spent the last couple of years in Euro Cup 3. What have you learned from those series that's made you a better driver? And we got a question from a fan as well. Emily asked, how would you reflect on your season so far this year in Euro Cup 3?
Well, this season in Euro Cup has been really difficult. Up until the last two races has been a crazy season and just a lots of downs and not many ups. But you know, it's part of motor racing and it's the whole part of learning. And you know, you learn from the mistakes and you learn from the failures. So it's great to be getting this experience now to prepare me as much as possible for Formula 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And presumably the highlight was the podium at La Castellet. That was obviously a good moment this year.
Well, yeah, that one and the pole position I had in Spa,
Yeah.
and it was just like, yeah, to it was a difficult season,
Yeah.
obviously. Yes.
For sure, for sure. But we've got a lot of drivers who say that they learn from the most difficult seasons and maybe their most difficult moments. What's been the most difficult moment of your career so far? What have you learned from those difficult moments?
The most difficult moments, I probably learned that in racing that you know not everything goes as planned all the time,
Mm,
and you first need to learn how to lose, and then you can win the race, right? So
love that.
that's what the mentality that my dad brings to me, and what he really made me understand from when I was young, so that I understand how to lose first. You first need to learn how to lose, and then you can win.
I love that. That's a nice little inspirational quote that you can refer back to when things aren't going so well, and then you can turn that into
Yeah,
positive and when
yeah.
things go well.
And use that as a motivation for the future. Yes.
Absolutely, love that. So, flipping it then, what's the highlight of your career so far? Would you say?
I would say that my highlight of my career is still yet to come,
Ah,
and then I'll let you know.
he's full of motivational quotes. I love it. That's you're right though. You've always got to look forward and look forward to the positive things that are still yet to come. Right. So I love that. Nice. Okay. You've obviously made the bold decision to jump straight from Euro 3, Euro Cup 3 to Formula 2. Talk us through that decision, jumping up. You're bypassing Formula 3, aren't you? Jumping straight to Formula 2. Was it AIX's idea? Was it your idea? How was that contact first made?
So actually, it was never in my mind to ever just skip Formula 3.
Okay.
But when we got the opportunity from AIX, the idea to go to Formula 2, we couldn't say no to it. and we have to take the risk, and I'm sure that this will be very successful.
Yeah, sure. And you're kind of following in the footsteps of the person you're replacing at AIX, actually, Josh Dirksen, who made a similar jump from Freca straight up to Formula 2.
Yes.
And we know how well he's done in Formula 2, winning races. So
Yes.
does that give you evidence that the pathway works?
Yeah, exactly. So that's something that gave us a little, confidence on making this decision. Because, I raced with Joshua and Freka,
Freca.
and was a really, really talented driver. And when I heard that he was going to Formula 2, I was like, well, it's going to be very difficult for him. Because I do respect the Formula 2 drivers. They have a lot of experience and many more years of racing than Joshua. And when he started getting those results, I was really, really excited and happy for him because he really showed how much he worked hard to achieve those results. And you can see throughout the year his evolution and where he's at now is just really good. So that gave us for sure a motivation to continue with this step to go to Formula 2.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And he's done a great job, and he's a good guy, as Josh, and we've had a bunch
Yeah, very nice.
of
Yes.
guys. So have you
I've been working this whole year with him because
really? Yeah.
yeah, because I've been doing already some sim training and all the team, and I went to the races already and worked with them on the weekends and spending time with the team and learning everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So you've been going to the races already. You've been in the sim, and I guess presumably then you knew that you were making the step to Formula 2 quite early on in the year. Obviously, the announcement was in July, but
Yes, exactly.
yeah, okay. So Josh has been giving you some advice on that.
Many advices, and yeah, has been a great reference for me and a great teacher for me.
Yeah, sure. Love that. What races have you been to this year? And I guess you've already driven a lot of the circuits. You know, Spa, for example. There's a lot of circuits you've already done, but you've been able to get out to a few races.
Yeah, exactly. So this year I've been to Barcelona. I've been to Red Bull Ring, Monza, and I think that is it. Not many, but I've been following from the outside
Yeah.
a lot with the team and getting a lot of information, so I learn. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah, love that. And AIX are a good team. They've nurtured the drivers that they've had. Obviously, they've used to rookies. They had Josh and Taylor Barnard previously. They've had Kean Shields this year. So very good at nurturing rookies as well, aren't they? So
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
love that. Okay. I guess let's speak about your teammate Kean Shields for next year. He's obviously been announced. He's definitely going to be your teammate for next year. He's obviously raced in Formula 2 this year, so I guess that's a good benchmark for you next year. If you can come in and start being on the pace with him straight away, you're going to be there or thereabouts, right?
Yeah, for sure. That would be one of my targets for next year. Yes, from the beginning. Yes, correct.
Okay, and have you spoken to Kean as well, presumably, when you've been at race weekends?
Well, of course, yes. And all the engineering meetings and everything. So we're all together and learning everything from him and Joshua and the team.
Yeah, sure. Love that. And what track are you most looking forward to racing at next season? Some of the races you haven't been to. Looking at your career, I don't know if you've raced in Qatar, for example. There's a few races that you haven't raced at. So what are you looking forward to?
It'll probably be Monaco.
Monaco.
Sure. Yeah, that'll be a track that was an iconic track for sure.
A historic track.
Yeah, very nice. Yes.
And obviously your dad would have raced there as well. Does it mean a little bit more to you knowing that some of those old school racetracks you've got family that are raced there as well?
Well, yeah, definitely. And I mean, most of the old school tracks my dad has raced on, but yeah, Monaco's for sure a special one. That's an iconic track. I guess everybody in motor racing knows about Monaco and how difficult it is and how challenging of a track it is. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. No, looking forward to seeing you there. Summer asks whether you've had any advice from your dad ahead of the next season.
Well, yeah, I did have many advices. Yeah, he always gives me advices and always helps me because he has been through most of this already, racing for his racing career went almost for 50 years. So, it's a lifetime of racing moments. So he has a lot of experience.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah,
lot of experience that you can build upon, right? So
exactly. Yeah.
good stuff. Okay, a few more fan questions then. So Matt asks, who's the quickest teammate you've ever raced against?
Quickest teammate I've ever raced against. Probably have to be one that was really difficult. That when I was close to him or just as fast as him or a little fast, I was really excited. Probably be Stenschorm, Martinez Stenschorm. Yeah.
And that was Frecker, wasn't it, when you were teammates?
No, that was Formula 4.
Formula 4.
Italian F4, yes.
Okay, and he's obviously gone on to do good things. In fact, I think we're expecting him to be in Formula 2 next year, so it'd be
Exactly.
racing alongside him again next year.
Exactly, yes.
Good stuff. Okay. Salvatore asks, what are your expectations for next year? And yeah, the second question was, have you already met the team? But you've already answered that. So what are your expectations going into next year?
Well, it'll probably be to learn a lot from the drivers and from what happens in the world of Formula 2, And that would be something that is all new for me and completely new. So traveling the world and racing with Formula 2 together with Formula 1 on the same weekend, that would be something extremely exciting. So for sure for next year, I'll be learning a lot and developing myself and also working with the team so we can achieve the best result.
Absolutely. Robin asks, what's the end goal? Presumably it's Formula One. You want to be in Formula One. You want to be a Formula One driver, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's my dream. Yeah.
And what are the steps that you need to take to get there? Obviously, you've stepped up to Formula Two. You're going to be in Formula Two next season. Do you? We've seen Kimi Antonelli, for example, going through to Formula One without. I think he only had a couple of race wins. Do you feel like you need to win races to get Formula Two races to get into Formula One, or do you think it's more consistency and showing teams that you can absorb information and that you'd be a good fit for the team?
Well, I think exactly what you said. It's all about the development, and they for sure see a trend on the driver of his development throughout the year, from where he starts to where he ends, and that's for sure something really important for the Formula One teams.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, last question from me, bit of a fun one. So, if you could pick any car, any track, any teammate, and any team principal from past or present, what, where, and who are you picking? So, car, track, teammate, team principal.
So the car will probably be my dad's Lotus that he won the world championship in 1972, which I drove that car in Goodwood Festival of Speed
Did you?
for the first time this year. Yes, so that's for sure something that I would like to race and drive that at a track.
That's a mega car as well.
Yeah,
Looks good.
yeah. The old like a track that I'll probably choose would be probably an old one. I don't know if you know, but I'll probably pick the old Interlagos,
Okay. Yeah.
which was around like 7 kilometers a lap.
Yeah. Okay.
There, that
Love
was
one.
yeah. And then teammate, I'll probably pick my dad
Yeah.
as a teammate. And then a team principal or, a team owner, I'll probably pick for sure Colin Chapman.
Colin Chapman, legendary team owner. Okay, I like that. I'd love to see that. You and your dad racing in the 72 Lotus around the old Interlagos. I'd love that. Nice.
Yeah.
Are you a bit gutted that Formula 2 doesn't go to Interlagos? Would you like to have raced?
Yeah, I wish, they went to, the United States or Brazil. They maybe can in a few years. Let's see. It'll be very interesting if they did. Because, Brazil has such a love to motorsport that they really follow, Formula 3 and Formula 2. So it'd be really interesting if they could get Formula 2 and Formula 3 or just Formula 2 in the Interlagos race. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many good Brazilian drivers coming through. Obviously, yourself,
exactly.
Rafa Kamara, who won the Formula 3 championship last year. Obviously, Gabby Bortoleto was obviously champion last year. So that would be great, wouldn't it? If we
that'll be. That would have been something that my dad would probably go crazy about and me too.
Yeah.
Because that was incredible racing. But soon maybe it will happen with me if I'll get into Formula One. And then
you can race there.
Exactly.
Love that. We'll have a word with Bruno, see if we can get Formula 2 racing in Sao Paulo moving forward.
Exactly.
Listen, that's all we got time for today. Emmo, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have a message for your fans ahead of the 2026 season?
Well, the only thing I could say is I'll be there to enjoy. It'll be a great season, and thank everybody for following the sport, and everybody has a great day.
Nice one, Emmo. Thank you very much. From all of us inside F2, we wish you the very best of luck for next season. You up for coming back on at some point next season?
Absolutely.
Love that.
Just let me know. It's a pleasure.
Good stuff. All right. Just a reminder to everyone that you can catch all of our interviews from various different drivers up and down the Formula 2 grid, including our championship leader at the moment, Leo Fornaroli, Jack Crawford, Sebastian Montoya, Josh Dirksen, and many, many more interviews. You can check all of those out on our YouTube channel. Just make sure that you're subscribed. From me, Fraser Ford, and all of us here at Inside F2. We'll see you next time.